relationship or job ended, and you don't know what's coming next. That's when change is a dark, foreboding road. When bad politicians are in office or the quarterback is crappy, people scream for change. Then change is a great thing, hopefully. Currently, I want to change churches. I've been visiting a church that's closer to my home off and on for quite a while. That church has an awesome word. I've also been in my present church for the better part of 25 years. I've been involved in various ministries and have done a lot of different things. I met my husband there. My husband doesn't want to change churches. He's comfortable. Now here's the caveat. He doesn't go. True, his work schedule many times prevents him from going to church. But on days when he's totally free and available, he could go if going to church is a priority. Now, I do feel that husbands and wives should be under the same teaching. If one ministry is teaching that men should love their wives as Christ loved the church, and another is teaching men should beat their wives if she doesn't cook every day, then that's a problem. In a church situation, some people would argue that you should never leave your church family. But just because I've done something for 25 years, does that mean I have to keep doing it? Ultimately, isn't the main thing serving God and not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together? More on change later. For Let's Stay Together, this is Donna Terrell.
Good evening. This is Brenda McCain from the Let's Stay Together talk show. Here's this week's announcements. Join us next week, July 7th. Our topic, Living Well, the Audacity to Hope in a Confused Society. Jason Petrick Fashion Hair Studio is home to the world of fashion and entertainment. He offers you a backstage experience with salon hair services, makeup, photo shoots, clip-in and sew-in extensions, fashion and entertainment, and a great bundle deal on luxury hair. Jason creates hair that puts every woman on the runway. Please visit jpuphairstudio.com for the location to purchase hair or book an appointment for any of their outstanding services. If you never tried tea cakes, you need to try these. They are delicious. Let us introduce you to Delish Custom Cakes and Desserts by Deanna Welton, pastry chef, cake artist. You can call her and get your cake customized at 1-773-644-0139. The Let's Stay Together talk show is looking for retired, part-time, experienced editors to do a couple of hours of work. Please contact us at the Let's Stay Together talk show at gmail.com if you are interested. Looking for a great cause? Help New Faith Baptist Church International fight against Ebola. Go to Amazon to support the Joseph assignment. Go to www.smile.amazon.com. Right after our show, you can tune in to hear more great preaching at New Faith Baptist International Church with Pastor Trinell Felder. This broadcast comes on every Tuesday at 9 p.m. at WYJS. This concludes the Let's Stay Together talk show announcements.
You are now returning to the Let's Stay Together talk show.
All right. Welcome back to the Let's Stay Together show. Man, we got 1/2 hour left, and this has been dynamic, talking about black violence in America. United we stand, so why are we so divided? We were talking about something real quick, and I want to give a shout out because I think Laraj or even you, Raymond, said something about, being on the street. I think that was you, Laraj, being on the streets and corners. I have to give a shout out to Salem Baptist Church of Chicago because they would do that a lot of times too, stand out in the street on there praying for stuff like that. We need more churches to go out there. I think the problem with the church is that we want to pray for people inside the church, but we ain't gonna go outside. And like Laraj said, if you stand on that corner, ain't nobody gonna be shooting. So I will give it up for Salem Baptist Church because they've always been out there on the streets, on the corners, going to, they got about, 20-some thousand members, so they're in corners everywhere. We need to get the church more involved in things where a person like, what was that young lady's name that wrote the letter, baby?
Tired and frustrated.
Tired and frustrated can see people out there. The black community centers around the churches. And like you said, Raymond, the churches are closed now. We need to start opening our churches and start letting people come in, regardless to who they are, regardless to what they've done. Accept them, give them love, and let them know we can stop this together with each other. But communities have to do that as well. People on the block. What happened to block clubs? People don't have that anymore. Nobody's working together anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody know Mrs. Smith. Don't say nothing to Miss Smith. She'll whoop you. You whoop somebody's child now, shoot, they're ready to shoot you and kill you.
They're going to.
But we've lost that ability to have respect for each other. And like you said, you can't be smoking a blunt with somebody and say, respect me. You can't be 50 years old with your pants down and trying to be cool. Pull your pants up, fool, you're 50.
Right.
Pull your pants up, fool, you're 20. But 50 years old, you're a fool. Come on now.
Okay,
you're supposed to be showing an example. And so
Exactly.
we've stopped that, and we talked about it. We've been cowards. We're not doing what we're supposed to do. Black men, stand up. Let's do what we're supposed to do. We got a Laraj that's doing it, but why is Laraj at 29 doing it, and there's not a James at 39? Right. There's not a Stephen at 49. Why is he the only one doing it? I know there's more men out there. I know there's more African-American men out there, but he needs to have some role models too. And if he's stepping up, like he said, he was 22 and helped a 16-year-old. I think that's what you said, 20. If he can do that at 22 years old, there needs to be a 32-year-old, a 42-year-old, a 45-year-old, an African-American man that's going to stand up. Hey, they may shoot one of us, but they ain't going to get all of us.
No, they can't get all of us.
I'll take a bullet for any of my brothers if that means that the next brother doesn't have to die for it. We've got to start saying it's that life, that black life does matter. It matters because black people care about it. We don't need nobody else caring about it as much as we need to care about ourselves. Yes. We need to start saying it matters. That child that wants to go get some music and she could sing just as good as Aretha Franklin.
Right.
Somebody need to say, hey, let's chip in some money and make sure she gets to where she needs to go to. What's $5 of helping her out to go to get some music lesson and you up there making it rain somewhere else? Take that $5 and let that girl go with those little panties that you can't get anyway and help that 5-year-old, that 9-year-old that really needs your help.
Exactly.
And so that's just that's my soapbox right there. We need to start doing some things.
I tell the kids all the time, I'm willing to die for you. Are you willing to die for you? And I'd say that so profoundly. And one of the things I do when I go in the schools and I see the guys who want to be portrayed that they're tough, I say, by a show of hands, who is ready to die in here?
The hands are down.
And ain't nobody raised their hand. So I say that lets me know that you're not ready to die, so why are you acting like you're ready to die? You ain't really about that life. So why is you standing on the corner like you're about that life?
Let me cut the pie for you, brother. Chicago, being one of the most diverse cities in this country, if you go and venture outside of our slice of Chicago, the African-American slice, or the brown slice, the Hispanic slice, you don't see an 11 or 12-year-old Asian girl outside past 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
You don't see a little Russian kid standing on the corner. Yeah. We're violent because we're angry, but we're angry at ourselves because we have this seed, as you stated, planted in us that says you're not good enough. Exactly. Well, here's the reality. You will never be good enough to someone who designed it for you never to feel like you were good enough.
Yeah.
It will never happen.
No, it won't.
Yeah, and that's profound because you're right. I mean, and here's the thing that I always say. And I always use the Malcolm X movie because with Malcolm X, when the guy was killed and Malcolm X walked in, he had all the men there, and then they checked the man out, and then Malcolm X pointed his finger to the left, and all the men moved, and he said, that's too much power for one man to have. Let me tell you something, African-American king and queen. When someone tells you you can't do something, mentally, that's giving them too much power for anyone to have. you can do exceedingly abundantly more than you can ask or think. Your Father God said that. So if anybody else says that you can't, then you got a Laraj, you got a Raymond, you got a Rick McCain, you got somebody here, you got a Brenda, you got a Tracy. What's your name, girl?
Lisa.
Come on. We got a Lisa.
Lisa.
You've got people here that's going to say you can do all things and you can accomplish. I don't care if it's your mama or your daddy, because there's some mamas or daddies, shame on you, shame on you, that's saying that your child won't make anything out of himself. Right. Well, let me tell you something. He can make something without you in his life, because he is a peculiar and great and special child that can do wonderful things. And as long as we got a Laraj, as long as we got a Raymond out there that's telling these kids that they can do something, everything someone is telling you can't do, make it motivate you.
Exactly. And one of the things I want to get back to in the violence in our community is the semi-automatic weapons. Okay, where do they come from? You know, and who teaches our kids how to actually shoot an AK-47, because they don't go to the gun range.
In today's society, we do.
But this is how so many innocent people get shot and killed, because you don't know how to shoot, you don't go to the gun range, and then not only that, we think that it's cute to walk around with a banana clip AK-47 or AR-14 or 15 or a 30 or 40 clip magazine hanging out the side of you in order to do what? To kill your brother, man. So when the real war arises, we're going to be shorter than that thing, right? But they don't recognize that, because all they see, we living in an instant microwave age. They want it right now. Yeah. They want it right now, right now, right now, right now. What happened to hard work and dedication, preparation, you know? What happened to those things? We got out of that. And as long as we get out of that, we will never be able to get around these obstacles and barriers that we face, because I have coined phrase the term returning citizens. We no longer let people call us ex-cons, because the ex is unknown and the convict is still doing time. And if I'm sitting here with you, then I'm neither. So why would you, I don't address me as such. I am a returning citizen becoming a productive member of society. See, these are the movements that we got to get in. We got to get into these young movements and tell them, yeah, you good enough for me. If you ain't good enough for them, you're good enough for me. And just because they call you a lame or a square, whatever, I was that cat. I remember doing that. I would call you a lame, right? But wishing I could do what you do. I just didn't have the courage.
And I was that lame. I was that lame kid who grew up. And I grew up with the guys that you say you used to be. And I sat through that and I watched it. And I've outlived them.
Yes.
I've outlived them at 25.
Yeah.
That's 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I outlived a lot of them.
Yeah.
And that's because we have to make this decision. If we continue to accept violence as the answer, Bible says spare the rod, spoil the child.
Right.
If we are going to take away from our children, then replace it with something great, something beneficial.
Yes.
If our kids say they're treated unfairly in this school, chances are they are.
Yes.
Don't be the parent, that says, okay, just give up. Don't encourage nothing. That's what black people do. We want everything and we encourage nothing.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we got to motivate, uplift, and inspire our youth. And that means, look at it. Brother Kane, ain't no more baseball tournaments, ain't no more basketball tournaments, ain't no more softball tournaments. It ain't no community picnics no more, where we used to just have fun and they get the jumping jacks for the kids, and we used to go in there and jump around and just have a ball, and we eat all the hot dogs and tater chips so we can eat. And
those hot dogs used to be good.
Yeah, they were the bomb. I don't know who was the cook at the grill was, but it always tasted real good to me.
Look at those Jackie Robinson West kids.
Right, yeah. Right.
They sat back, and I'm going to stand up again for this because these are my kids, so I'm putting on my kids. They set the city, the world, sat back and glorified them in a chance of hope as a distraction, because there were so many other things that Illinois were putting on the bill during the time they were running the Jackie Robinson West story. So they put them on this plateau, gave everybody hope, said, hey, let's go. Now, you know what? All right, now take it away. The distraction's
because it was already planned.
Take it away. And they expect us and our kids not to be angry when the only few things in life that we can grasp onto, we know it can be taken. That car you work for can be repossessed because you're paying a note. We're living paying